Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Thank you very much for tuning in, spending a couple of minutes with us. Kindly take a second out, support the channel, click a like if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And again, hopefully, I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. A lot of stuff to unravel, right? Nothing's boring anymore in the market. So I logged on this morning, just like every other day, and I look at Microsoft, and I look at Tesla, I look at MSTR, and I'm like, holy crap, look at all this liquidity on all these stocks. What's going on? I'm losing my money. I'm watching this. I'm sitting there, and I go, when is MSTR showing 40,000 bid? Right? Not so fast. So if you guys trade stocks under 250 bucks, you probably didn't probably went around your business, kind of didn't notice anything. For all you guys who trade stocks above $250, you kind of get what I got, right? So normally, if something on your level 2 represents 1, that's 100 shares, right? Something represents 20, it's 2,000 shares. Something represents 100, that's 10,000 shares, right? That's what we've been kind of used to for years and years and years. This morning, I woke up and realized there's something that went into fruition today called the odd lot rule. So now, literally, 1 doesn't mean 100 shares anymore. 1 literally means 1 freaking share. So now, above $250, every stock is represented literally by their shares. So if you see 40, it's not 4,000. It's not 4,000 shares anymore. It's 40 shares. I thought this thing was going to put me into early retirement. My head was spinning today. I finally got used to it until about lunchtime. And now, realistically, when you see 400, right? It's not 40,000 shares anymore. It's literally 400 shares. I don't know why they decided to do this. It took me a while. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel exactly the same way. I don't think it was necessary. But now the great news is I get to see every 2-share order on Robinhood traders, on Reddit traders. Yay! And this damn thing nearly put me into early retirement. But other than that, market, it continues to be crazy. We'll get to the good, we'll get to the bad, and we'll get to the what the hell is going on for a strong market that looks so ugly. Number one, another day comes in, another open AI PR. This time with Amazon Web Services, $38 billion developmental supply deal with NVIDIA chips. As you can imagine, Amazon went crazy, right? Amazon went crazy, had a big spike. NVIDIA on this news had a very big spike, right? Technology starts running again. And then the question coming into this weekend, if you watch the weekend video, was, well, before we talk about all that, let's just make sure it's not a sell the news type of scenario, right? Because we talked about China, United States, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, what happens next? And you started seeing throughout the morning, things started giving things up, right? They started giving up gains slowly but surely, one after another. And the stocks that were weak last week, right? We talked about the Metas of the world, the Microsofts of the world. I came in short. My last runner on Roblox, right, got absolutely destroyed today, right? And you start looking at all these stocks and all these different categories and all these different groups, and you realize, well, wait a minute, for a strong-ass market, why are we seeing so much destruction, right? We talked about over the weekend. I said, hey, guys, watch Apple. Apple loses the 5-day. This thing could get hit. Apple went down today $4 from the 5-day to the 10-day moving average. We talked about over the weekend. Watch MSTR and Coinbase. If they start giving up earnings lows, they're going to get hit. Guys, look at this, right? You got MSTR giving up earnings lows, right? You got Coinbase giving back the 50-day moving average. And then they started rotating money out of the other speculation names. Remember all those uranium names, quant names, right? Whatever names you want. The high-flying names, they all got slapped, right? Look at RKLB. Smack, right? Smack with a 34 EMA. Look at this setup for tomorrow, guys. Look at the setup for tomorrow, right? Look at MP, right? Smacked. I didn't see what RGTI did today, but I'm assuming smacked. So you're seeing the leaders getting smacked, right? Microsoft, Meta, right? Microsoft, Meta, all these stocks getting hit. You get the speculation monies getting hit, but yet you turn around and you say, well, wait a minute, why are we still at all-time highs? Well, the reason why we're at all-time highs is because these stocks that had big, big moves, the Amazons of the world, the NVIDIAs of the world, and oh, by the way, the Teslas of the world. Remember we talked about the Tesla potential run-up to the November 6th vote, right? When you have these three big gorillas controlling a big weight of the NASDAQ 100, that's what's going to keep the market up. After the close, you have PLTR. Came out with, on the surface, some pretty good earnings. And again, the question was, well, is the stock already based in? If you look at the numbers, good numbers, the guidance was good, right? The stock initially popped up about, 4%? Right now, PLTR is literally unchanged. Right? It's literally unchanged. And that's not a good thing, right? But remember, when all the leaders are coming out, going down, when the speculation money is going down, and when you have a really, really good quarter and in the initial, as you can see, the stock traded all the way up here and then got sold off, that's not a great sign. So the question is, how far is this? I don't want to use the word window dressing because it's not. I mean, the market's been absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane. You look at a lot of the names. Micron has been an absolute tear. NVIDIA, Amazon, Tesla today, went nuts. So the question is, what happens later? Right now, we're going through earnings season. Majority of names have been not great, right? Not great. Of course, you have your names that are doing well, like HIMS reported after the close. And, the stock is up, after the close. I get the cheering. I get it. It's up 6% after the close. Guys, HIMS got murdered, man. HIMS got murdered. I mean, it's like, again, it's like winning the tallest dwarf competition, right? It's like a gambler losing $100,000. He hits for $300. And we're saying, we're back, baby, right? Like, where's the celebration? So it's a very weird market. The strength is being represented. You're seeing obvious weakness all over the board. The market continues to close at all-time highs. But if you go through your nightly research, right? And we talk about nightly research. Again, everything we talk about every single video, I research, I take the data, and I trade off the data the next day. I'm not guessing the next day. I'm already prepared. So we talked about over the weekend update. Watch, the Coinbase, the MSTR for giving up their gains. That's exactly what happened. Watch Apple give up its gains. We watched Tesla going into the November 6th. Watch the ranges for the upside. That didn't happen. And the point is, if you're prepared, you're going to be fine. And the problem is, when I'm going through charts tonight, I don't want to buy anything, right? Like I'm looking at these charts. I'm like, what the hell am I buying? Like, what am I buying? I'm looking at all the value. At least for me, I'm looking at all the value and I'm saying to myself, damn, all the value is to the downside. Like, I only have one stock to the upside tomorrow. Literally, if Tesla can confirm today's channels, it's literally the only stock. Everything else, I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, look at RKLB's chart, right? It held the 34 EMA. This thing loses the 34 EMA. This thing could potentially get slammed down to the 50, right? You look at a name, for example, like IONQ, right? IONQ today held the 65-day, right? What happens if it loses the 65? It touched it 1, 2, 3 times. It could go down to the October lows, right? And you get all these names like RGTIs of the world, the MPs of the world. So you're getting a lot of value on the research to the downside. And you wake up every single morning, you're like, well, how this market's still holding up? Well, because again, 3, 4 names, and they're rotating at a time. They have a huge weight on the NASDAQ 100, and the NASDAQ 100 continues to be good. Again, folks, I have that 626 level. I understand we're nowhere close to that, but I have that 626 level etched in my brain on the 5-day of the QQQs. That is going to be the crater area. If we somehow get back down to that area, and again, we're nowhere near that area right now, right? You can see we're 6 points above. We're still 6 points above. But you can see 3 days in a row now that the market is putting in red candles, lower closes than the open. Something has to give you, right? The question is, can 2, 3 stocks continuously pull up the rest of the market, or is eventually the dam going to break? And again, if the dam breaks, that 626 level is going to be a massive, massive level for us to the downside potential washout trade if we do get there. So if you look at today's pivots, you'll quickly see, right? You had the massive, massive move on Tesla on the upside, right? levels for this week. You had 458, 467, 470, 70, 75. That was the October highs. Tesla traded all the way up to 474. Again, congratulations for all you guys who caught Tesla. You had MSTR. You had MSTR breaking. Went down about 4 or 5 points. 263 for builds below can flush. I shorted it. I couldn't get enough stock. Went down a couple of points. I got frustrated. When I don't have enough stock, you're like, what the. Yeah, even if it goes down, you're not gonna make any money. So I covered it. Went down like 4 or 5 points. Nothing big, but I still like this thing. Apple got smashed. It went down $4 off the 5-day moving average. Again, this is kind of my whole point where all the value is to the downside. Avago closed at the lows of the day, 365 short, closed at the lows of the day at around 362. IONQ went down about 50 cents, but I still like it for tomorrow, especially if it confirms today's prices tomorrow. What I want to obviously watch tomorrow, you got AMD coming out tomorrow, right? Let me see, just make sure who's coming out tomorrow. You got AMD. I know AMD reports tomorrow. That's obviously going to be a biggie. Okay, you have AMD tomorrow. You have SMCI tomorrow. You have Shopify before the bell. You have Uber before the bell. You have Rivian tomorrow night, UPST. So you got enough out there to see where the strength and weakness is going to be placed. But from what I'm seeing, right, from 26 plus years in, what I'm seeing is what it's taking a stock to really make headway on the day is a massive PR. Right. And even on the massive PR, it gives back a lot of its gains. So again, all these things combined with speculation money coming out of the uranium names, the energy names, the rare earth names, and the leaders, the Microsoft, the Metas of the world, the Apple right now is starting to crack. All I'm saying is if you are a one-sided trader, right? If you are only a long bias trader, again, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but kind of hear me out, right? You want to be a little bit careful, but definitely etch out 626 on your line in the sand for the future. Maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't, but be prepared. Take action. Do something that's going to be proactive, that's going to protect your portfolio, because if you are not listening to the clues might just run you over. So be very, very diligent, guys. Set an alert, 626, 5-day break on the NASDAQ 100. Again, we'll see exactly what happens tomorrow. But again, all the value that I'm seeing, unless the stock is coming out with a PR and you're getting a short-term trade, whether it's a bounce, opening range highs, whatever the case may be, I'm just seeing too much weakness to turn around and go, everything's fine. Nothing, nothing is wrong. Move on with your day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll catch you on the field tomorrow.